Hi, good evening, Romarinda, teachers. Thank you, Dr. Manungsung. Okay, I'm Dr. Andrew Mungkal, and I'm based here in the USA. I'm a special education teacher. Before in the Philippines, I was a professor in the university, and I also became the head of Dr. Manungsung before in social science department, in and also I became the when K to 12 was piloting in University of Makati, and the other one is in UP Integrated School Makati. I am one of the I'm the coordinator of the political science department there. Okay. Now I taught high school in here in US in New Mexico, and then elementary here in Maryland. Okay. And then I also okay, needless to say, so just to give you a background of who is Dr. Mungkal. Okay. I hope everybody is listening. I'm not used to your video, your cameras are closed because here we open our cameras. So uh, those who want to open their cameras, so I know somebody is there. Okay, you may do so. Okay. My topic today is I do, we do, you do as a teaching strategy for a new concept, skill, or lesson. Okay, in K to 12. And I am doing that as an elementary teacher. I've been teaching math, English language arts, science, social studies, and health. Because here in elementary, in special, because I am a special education teacher. So, but if you are in the general education, you only teach either science and math, or you teach English and social studies. Okay, because they are math and science are related, so only one general education teacher for that in elementary, and one because English and so history or social studies are related because of comprehension, so one teacher of that is teaching elementary. But in special education, I'm teaching all of them. Okay, so I have okay. I have Dr. Manuso told me I'll just use my notes instead of the PowerPoint presentation because we are using her laptop now. Okay. So, do you have questions before I start? Uh, okay, if there is none, I will start now. So, I will tell you how I apply this method in my everyday classroom life. So first, the I do. Usually, I start the class, of course, with the whole group instruction. I start it with a warm up. The warm up, or as you know, the bell ringer, is linked to the previous lesson. So you will have to make a short assessment or practice exercise related to the previous lesson to reinforce, to know and reinforce whether the students mastered the previous lesson. Okay, that is why the homework is very important. After a lesson, you give them assessment. You get immediate and frequent feedback from students. Then after that, you have to reinforce it through giving them homeworks. So by the time uh, to introduce a new lesson the next day, So you will have a warm up about the previous lesson to know if they master the skill, the concept, or the lesson. Okay, that will be 5 minutes. It will do. Okay, but me, because I'm special education students, I give them extended time. Sometimes another 5 minutes more. Okay, that becomes 10 minutes. Okay, now that is only the introduction. So it is not part of the I do, but it's like an I do because you have to start with that. Then after that, I have to introduce the new concept, a new skill or lesson to my students, the I do part. Okay. So to give you an overview of this I do, we do, and you do strategy, it's like there's a mother bird or a chicken, and she has chicks or little baby birds. Okay, so they don't know how to fly. So the mother bird will teach how to fly. I do. She will fly so that the children, the little birds or birdies or the chicks will learn from their mother. Then after the mother demonstrated how to fly, now the chicks and the mother will fly together. That is what we call we do. So that if one of the little birds cannot fly, the mother can monitor and supervise the chick or the baby bird. Okay, that is we do. And then after together they fly, so the we do part will be longer than the I do part. Okay, after that the mother bird will let the chicks fly on their own path. Okay, so that is how how to how to think of what is this I do, we do, and you do in simple matters. Okay, so moving on to I do. So you introduce a new lesson. So on my part, I will have two examples because I will have two examples on one in math and one in English, because math and English are very important. Okay, these are core courses or cognate. These are very important, math and English. You have to learn math and English starting from the pre-K, kindergarten to primary grades 1, 2, 3, to intermediate 4, 5, 6, 7. So here in middle school, we have the 6, 7, 8, and then high school, we have the 9, 10, 11, 12. In your part, only up to grade 7, 8, 9, 10 is high school, and 11, 12 is senior high school. Here, 6, 7, 8 is middle school, while 9, 10, 11, 12 are first year, second year, third year, fourth year high school. So we don't have a senior high school. It's already incorporated since General Mayomo was born. What I mean, this has been happening for the last century since public education system was introduced in the United States by the colonizers, okay? The British colonizers, I mean. The European colonizers, I mean. Okay? So that is how it works here. However, in Philippines, I've been there. So it's only grades 8, grade 7, 8, 9, 10 of first year, second year, third year, fourth year high school. And then the newly introduced senior high school way back in 2013, 2012, I remember we were piloting in 2011, 2012, if I'm correct. Those time, 2011, 2012, I was in Makati, and only two pilot pilot schools that are commissioned by DepEd was Makati Senior High and the UP Integrated School in Quezon City. Okay. Moving on to the I do part. So math and English. Okay, so I'll start with math. So how I start in math. So after the bell ringer or the warm up, that will be only 5 minutes. So you have to I do. It will commence 15 to 20 minutes only because the span of attention of students is not long. They will be bored, especially special education kids. Even general education, here even general education students are not different with special education kids or students with disabilities because the culture is the same. The only problem is in the formative assessment or in the standardized tests, the special students or the students with disabilities or special needs, they are low performing, while the regular students are average performing. That is the only difference in terms of learning disabilities. But they are still the same. Some students in the regular classroom, because I'm doing inclusion teacher before in the high school, are also these regular students are also struggling with the lesson as like my students with special needs do. They are also struggling. Okay? The only difference, the regular students pass the formative assessment and the standardized tests. They are not categorized as low performing students. But in terms of everyday life in the classroom, you know the teacher, the main teacher, and the inclusion teacher like me, we know that they are also both students classification are struggling. Okay. So now math. So I start with, of course, here in the United States, we have to adhere to Common Core state standards. Every state has its own Common Core state standards. In New Mexico, it's different. In Maryland, it's different. In Virginia, it's different. But they are similar. How? In San Francisco, Unified School District, which Maryland follows, it's similar, but how they line it up and put the codes are different. But it's still the same, or the wordings are different, but the very concept are all the same. Okay? Remember, this curriculum has been used decades ago. This has been passed on by research and practitioners to us. So, and to trial and tests and method, they improve the curriculum, okay, through the years. Okay. So in math, I use the Common Core standard, and I usually upload it in my computer, in my mobile phone. Okay. Here, I will, for example, I will first introduce to my students the standard that our lesson that they have to master. For example, here in Maryland, the standard in grade 5 math, NBT 4, for example, number and operations in base 10. Who is teaching grade 5 here, math? May I know? Are you still
Yes,
there?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
Miss
sir.
Belen. Okay, you can relate with me, Miss Belen. So this is the standard. Use place value, understanding to round off, to round decimals to any place. Okay, that is the standard. And I give them an objective. Here in Maryland, and we have our curriculum and our own curriculum and our math elementary department, which provide us all these resources and materials, which you have problem right now. I heard from Dr. Manung Sung. So, so um, the objective is there, and this, and I'll just find the standard. So, for example, the objective is you just reward it from the standard. Okay, round off uh, decimal numbers uh, to the 2000 place, up to 1000 place. That will be the objective, to round off decimal numbers up to its 1000 place. Or if you're in grade 6, up to 100,000 place. If you're in grade 7, actually math is like that. It's actually grade 4, 5 math is similar, this or just the same with math 6 and 7. You just make it more complex, the numbers and the operations, you make it more complex, or the examples you make it advanced. By the time they go to high school, I'm talking about the US system, grade 9, first year high school, it's already algebra. No more about this. But these are foundations. These math concepts and skill are basic foundations on how to be successful in algebra math in high school. Without this, they cannot be successful in algebra math, because I've also become an inclusion teacher in math high school way back in New Mexico as a special education inclusion teacher. Okay? So now, so that is our objective. Now, after I introduce the objective, I let them read the objective, so you know that at the end of the lesson, you will have to to understand how to round decimal numbers up to the 1000 place. Okay. So after that, that's still I do part of the I give them the concept. I provide them a place value system. Okay, where it's an anchor chart. You know an anchor chart, Teacher Belen? Anchor
Come
chart.
again,
Okay,
sir?
thumbs up. Anchor chart. So I put the place value system in. We have this um, poster, sticky poster at the back. If I'm doing virtual, or I post it in the wall, on the wall in the classroom. So this big sticky post-it. It's like a post-it, but it's a gigantic post-it. So I draw the place value system. I draw columns of first the whole numbers. So they will differentiate the whole numbers at the left side, because that's how you read the number. And then at the middle, at the line that separates the whole number from the decimal number is a point, the decimal point or the dot. Then here I put, so here the whole number will be started at one, tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay. Then on the decimal numbers, so there's no one in the decimal number. The column to the right after the decimal point to the right starts with the hundreds place. I don't know. No, I start with I stand corrected. 10th place, spelled as TENTH. The whole number is only TEN, but the decimal number will be with it ends always with a TH to separate the whole from the decimal point. When you write the number in not in numbers but in words, okay? TH, tens, then the second column to the right after the decimal point, the hundreds with the TH, then the thousands place. So then I write down the number, and then I will read the number, for example, 3 and 45 hundreds. That's how you read it. Where the number ends, the 45, the 100 place, 5 is in the 100 place. So we call it 3 as the whole number, and the decimal point, 3 and 45 hundreds. That is how you read it. Isn't it, Teacher Belen? Okay.
Yes,
Then
sir.
you have to write the three on the columns. This is part of your anchor chart. So now they have an idea because they have learned decimal numbers in grade 4, formally very new to them, and at the end of the quarter. So in grade 5, this is second quarter, so it's now they have previous learning but not mastered still. So you are introduced. So by the time they go to middle school, grade 6, and by 7, we expect students would have have that mastered and advanced that skill already. That is how the as well as in the Philippines, which is a copycat of the American public school system, because when the Philippine Normal University, or the College of Manila before, was established by the Americans in 1901. Okay, and that is the start. And after that, the UP in 1908. Okay, so it is how it also works here. So now they know now the concept, and then you just now give more examples, and then we I of course there's also a way to write it in fractions, but it will be another objective or another lesson. So not to overwhelm them, do not give everything to them in one sitting, or in one lesson. So you just start with that in math, the how to write it in numbers form, and how to write it in word form. Okay, then the next lesson will follow how to write it in fraction. Okay, so and then you will give more examples to them. How about, because our objective is up to 1,000 place, so you will give them um, 3.45 years. For example, you put a 0 at the 1,000 place in the decimal anchor chart, in the place value anchor chart. So how do you read that? 3 and 450 thousandths. Isn't it, Teacher Belen? Okay, you are a really the grade 5 teacher, Teacher Belen, because you know my craft. You know what I'm talking. So after that, so it will take 15 minutes of teaching. And this I do, we do, you do. You can also do it not only in introducing new concept, skill, or lesson, but in reteaching, in reteaching the lesson. Okay. And then now we do. So you will now give exercises to your students on how to, of course, we have not round up, our objective is to round up. So you will have to draw another anchor chart. In part of I do, because it's not yet 15 minutes. I think that's only 5 minutes, what I have talked about. You will draw a number line system. I have already applied it because this is second quarter math, and I've been teaching 2 years already, second year here in grade 5 math in the Maryland, United States of America. Okay, so the number line system is the second anchor chart. So wherein do you draw? Okay, excuse me, I just drink water. Okay, moving on. So the number line system is another anchor chart to help them round decimal numbers to the 1,000 place. So we're in, the number line system. You just draw, in high school, there's the X and Y axis, but here is only the X axis. You draw a straight line with an arrow and two, two, two moving arrows, two opposite arrows pointing opposite directions. Then at the center of the line is the 0. And the 0 is what separates the whole numbers. Now this is different. The whole numbers for the number line system is on the right side, while the decimal numbers are on the left side of the the dot or the zero, the point zero. So you will have to use, if you're using um, that's the, it's our example, the 3.45. So you have to find the location point of 3.45 in your number line system. So you have to draw a bigger line, because not only you will write the whole numbers, but you will also write the, to the right of the zero, the 1, 2, 3. Of course, you can make two number lines. The whole numbers, 3 point, the one number line is about the whole numbers from 0, 1, 2, 3. You divide it into 10 parts. That's -1 to -5 on the left, and 1, +1 to +5 to the right. Now, how you have to teach them how to point the location or to chart 3.45. So you have to draw a second number line system which starts with a 3. It's 3 from the left side of the arrow of the number line is 3, while the right side of the end of the opposite arrow is 4. So that will be, so what are the decimal numbers between the number line system between 3 and 4? Okay, Teacher Belen will relate to me, and other grade 4 and grade high school teachers, of course. Math, okay? So you have to now to that the uh, 10 parts of the number line. So they start with 10, tens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, nines, and tens, 20, so one, tens, 10 up to 90, 100, okay? So 10, 100, I'm sorry, 10, 10, 100 up to 90, 100. So now there are 10 parts of it. So so as a teacher, you will model or demonstrate to them where I will plot the point of 3.45. So it should be between 4 4 tenths, or in between 4 tenths and 5 tenths, or between 40 hundredths and 50 hundredths. So you can choose two model. You can use the ones, the tenths only, or the hundreds. Because if it's tenths only, it's 3.40, 3.4. It's higher, it's 3.40. But because we're using an example of 3 and 45 hundredths, we have to use the hundreds. So 40 hundredths. So you have to model to the students that you have to plot the point of 3 and 45 hundredths between 40 hundredths and 50 hundredths, because that is half. Half of 40 hundredths and 50 hundredths is 45 hundredths. Agreed, Teacher Belen?
Po.
Okay, thank you for participating. Tatawag-tawag ako minsan-minsan para nakikita ko kung nagpa-participate kayo. O baka iba dyan nagluluto ng ulam. Kasi gawain ko lang yan. Joke. Gawain ko yan. Joke. Okay. Now in English example, kasi we have time constraint. Okay. Before we go to the English example, kasi yung you do. After now you model, so we do na kayo, we do. Tutulungan mo na sila ngayon. You will help the students, give more examples to them together. You can make small group instruction. Dito na papasok yung small group instruction. So we do. So you will group them together so that you can focus on the low performing students, while the average and high performing students can group themselves, and they could do the assignment. We call it assignment here, but in the Philippines we do it as exercises. Okay, dito iba yung assignment, assignment sa classroom. Homework is take home yun. Okay, diyan sa Pilipinas, homework assignment, take home. Ang tawag natin sa gagawin sa classroom is exercises. Parang ganon, di ba? So, yung mga, so the high-performing students, they can group themselves without teacher support or help. Why you as a teacher, in during the we do, you focus more, you support, help, and monitor the small group of low-performing students. Or you can make small circles. How do we do small circles in we do? Give them different problems. For example, you have 5 groups, 5 different problems. And as you go through each group, they have from simple to complex problems. And then using, then after one group has solved this, they will now move to they will have to rotate, go to the next group, they switch, so they have a new problem to work on. While the teacher moves around also to give help, support. So that is we do. And then now you do, this is only 5 minutes usually. But because if you're in special education, sometimes you have to give them extended time, more time. So 10 minutes, you give them an example that will encatch the lesson of today. So just like that, you will let them plot and round up the decimal number using the number line system and the place value system anchor charts as their guiding principle, and then give them only one problem to think. Then give them 5 minutes. If they can answer it, they got you will be happy. Your heart will be very, tataba ang puso mo. Your heart will be full because you know, you've been an effective teacher. They learn. Me, I do in Zoom when I was virtual. Okay, I have the poll. I give the question, and then it's multiple choice. They just click the answer, and then you will see by percentage. If more than 50% got the correct answer, you will be very happy and proud of your students and yourself. I forgot to tell you in I do, just to add this, is the 3-read protocol in math. What is the 3-read protocol in math? Okay. Hold on, it's in my mobile phone. It's good, we have the internet and the mobile phone. So the 3-read protocol, you have 3 questions. This is in an I do, just to add. When you give a problem to student, a new problem, so you start the question, what is the situation about? Because in math, it's like that. You have a problem. What is the situation about? Oh, the situation about is, for example, how many, how do you round off 3 and 4600ths to the 1,000 place, or to the 1,000 place? Okay, to the 100 place. Sorry, for 3 and 4600 to the 100 place. Okay, so, and the second question of the 3-read protocol is, what are the quantities in the situation? So there is a 3 and there's a 4500ths decimal number. And then the third protocol is, what mathematical questions can I ask about the situation? Usually this 3-read protocol is effective if you are in the word problem. For example, you're giving some quantities. For example, you're teaching. This is a different lesson and objective. For example, you want them to know. Okay, you have to walk. For example, Anna has to walk from his house to his school for 400 meters. So we are talking about quantities. It's a different standard. Quantities, this is usually 4th quarter in grade 5 math. So 400 meters walk. Uh, but Emmy can walk, which is half the distance from Anna, can walk to school for 30 minutes. So how much time would Anna have to walk from your house to her school? So those are problems that you need this three-read protocol. Okay. So how do you solve that? So what is the situation about knowing the distance Anna has to walk using Emmy's point of view? So that's half. Then what are the quantities is used? So you have to know. So 30 minutes away, 400 meters, and then what are the mathematical questions can be used? So what formula you need to use? Is it multiply, division, addition, subtraction, or a combination of all of them or some of them? So teacher Jebelen would understand, and some other math teachers here would relate to me. Now moving on to, so much of mathematics. Moving on to how we do, we do, you do strategy in English language arts. Okay? It's different, quite different, because math is easy than English for me. Because math is, although it has comprehension, but math has constant comprehension. English, if you read another book, another story, the comprehension will change. It varies. In math, 4 plus 4, 4 times 4, the comprehension is still the same. In reading, if you read Shakespeare's tragedies and you read Boccaccio's tragedy, the comprehension of both is different because they're two different tales or stories, okay? So reading comprehension in English is more difficult for me based on research and based on experience, okay? So for example, I will start I do also in English using the common state standard of whatever state I'm teaching and using the objective. Usually, unlike math, they have many resources, even the lesson plan and the anchor charts and the PowerPoint presentation are provided to us. But in English, it's quite different. They only provide the lesson plan. But you have to meet, and how to implement it in the classroom is another way. It's your way. So they will give you the general thing, but the specific or the details, you have to do it on your own. But you have to follow also the curriculum and the lesson plan. But they don't give you what are the assignment to do, the homework to do, or the exit ticket to do. The exit ticket, you do the last part of the assessment, student assessment, if they are there is transfer of learning. So in English, for example, the standard in English will be, in grade 5 English is, this is the reading literature or reading informational text are two different things. Literature is fiction, reading informational text is non-fiction. Based on research here in the education, comprehension is, reading informational text is more helpful to teach comprehension than reading fiction or literature. So this is the common core standard for reading literature 1. So it's grade 5, 5.RL1. Quote accurately from a text when explaining what the text says explicitly and when drawing inferences from the text. Let me read again the standard. Quote accurately from a text when explaining what the text says explicitly and when drawing inferences from the text. So this is social studies teacher, and English teacher, this will help you, okay? Because this is comprehension. So I do, so then you will have to give them an objective based on the standard you're teaching in the curriculum. Then you have to choose a story or a book or a short story that you have to read from. So that and first you have to model, and in the I do, first you have to model and you have to demonstrate. So you first read the first pages, and then after that you have to think aloud and give them questions that is answerable from by quoting accurately from the text you are reading, they are reading, okay? So for example, you're the teacher, you have to read first and then make your question and then find the answer to the question based on the text. You have to quote it accurately. So that is how to start the I do there. So they know how now accurately to quote accurately from a text when explaining what the text says explicitly, and when drawing inferences from the text or the story. Okay, so you have to model it. Then you will read on, move, read on, and now throw questions to your students as you go, read along the way, let them answer and quote accurately from the text. Okay. uh, you can do that in small groups, or in small circles, wherein each group has different story to read. That's small circles, but small group is the same story they're reading, but you're just grouping them from the low performing and the high performing and the average performing students. Okay. Then after that, so the IDO will be 15 to 20 minutes, including the warm up. And the we do.
May question si ano.
Okay, hold on. Questions will be entertained after because I'm about to finish. Okay, so we do about 25 to 30 minutes, and then 5 to 10 minutes for the exit ticket, and of course you have to have 5 minutes reserve in case there is an question and answer or announcement, or you know, break. You have to give them also break. The break will commence usually from within the we do part, the longer part. You can have them a break within that period. Just to add, in warm up in English, when I use my warm up, this is free to share it to you. I use this for all grade levels. This is all. This is good for all grade levels K to 12. The English Worksheets Land, EnglishWorksheetsLand.com. Just click your grade level, and all the worksheets will be given there, and what standard or curriculum standards. Using codes from the text, determining themes of stories, dramas, or poems, comparing and contrasting stories and dramas, sequence of events, symbolism, word meanings from context phrases, just to name a few. There's too much overwhelming worksheets here for free, and I'm giving it for you for free thanks to EnglishWorksheetsLand.com. Okay, so that's why every day they have a new worksheet to do as a warm up in the before the lesson, the I do part. Then after we do, you give them an exit ticket. So after you read the story not once but twice, and then let them read silently, silent reading or close guided reading. Silent reading is also good before you do the close guided reading. What I just modeled and demonstrated in the I do and reinforced in the we do part of the question and answer while reading is called close guided reading method. And we do the think, pair, share, and turn and talk strategies. These are proven evidence-based research methods here. Okay, to talk about it more, it will be more specific on teaching strategies. This is only an introduction of I do, we do, you do. Okay, I cannot tell you all here. Okay, but do not mistake me as a walking encyclopedia, because I am not. This is all based on my research, professional experience, and education, because I am a doctor of education, major in special education. Yeah, doctor of uh, special education. So I also studied this. Okay, doctor of special education. The only difference is there's a special. Kasi special nga ako. Just kidding aside. So, so, so I give you that resources in English worksheets. In math kasi they gave us. Kayo na lang gumawa sa math, madali. Math is very easy to make kasi ano nga yan, mas mahirap ang English kaysa sa math in terms of comprehension. Kasi ang math, ano lang niya, kung ano yung number. Palitan mo lang yung numero. Palitan mo lang yung pangalan ni Ana, gawin mong Ina. O, palitan mo yung 300 ng 200. May iba na. Baliktarin mo, ibig sa division ng gamitin mo, palabasin mo, bawasan, ibig na dagdagan, multiplication, bawasan yung problem. Iba-iba yung wording. So magiging division na. Ganun lang sa math. Sa English, iba kasi, ibang Boccaccio's tragedy is different from Shakespeare's tragedies. So you have to make different questions and different answers. In math, they have the same quantities, same answers and problems, same method. Okay? And math is practice makes perfect. In English, is reading, fluency, and comprehension are related. Without one cannot function. Each one cannot function without the other one. But of course, vocabulary and morphology are very important also. Without morphology and vocabulary, fluency and comprehension. That's why morphology is taught in the primary, elementary already. By the time they went to grade 4, 5, 6, it's already on fluency and comprehension. And they have mastered already the morphemes. Okay? English teachers, you know what I'm talking about.
What
okay?
about AP, Science, Filipino?
I told them English and social studies are related because I'm teaching that both. And math and science are related. I'm teaching that both. Okay. But of course, different blocks or different blocks or periods. Here we call it different mods. Mods. M-O-D. Mods. Ang arte, no? Mods. Ano pa yan? May accent pa sila. Mod. Ano yung mod? M-O-D mod. Ano lang pala yung period or block. Okay. So they give an exit ticket. Choose one question which they can quote accurately from the text as their exit ticket. And that's it. You will become an effective teacher by practicing I do, we do, you do. Okay, now, thank you for listening. And now I can now entertain questions. Dr. Manungsong, if you can moderate. Okay, Rosary, Escocia, how would I have to click? I will click. Who has access to unmute? Unmute yourself, teacher Rosary. What is your question? Go ahead.
Teacher Rose.
They have no access to, ano?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you raising your hand, teacher Rosary Escocia? Okay. Is my talk very clear?
Teacher G.
Can you give me a thumbs up if it's very clear? Okay. Teacher who?
Teacher G.
Teacher Belen, do you have a question?
Ma'am, hindi po yung kulang sa pag-raise ng hand ni Teacher Rose. Nagkamali po siya kanina before we start.
Okay. Klaro ba? Is my talk clear or do you want to have questions? Okay, or share your experiences in the classroom?
Teacher
Okay,
Ruby.
Teacher Ruby, you may go ahead.
Okay po, good morning.
Morning.
Medyo na boses ko. Mag-a-add
The volume
information lang
louder, I
ako.
can hear it. Hold on, the volume is very low. Dr. Manong will have to have some technical troubleshooting here. I cannot hear you clearly because it's very, uh, your voices are low. Is my talk very loud and clear, Teacher Belen? Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Teacher Ruby. You may um,
May ask
To
me.
you
add,
may now ask.
I will just add information po about I do, you do, and we do that you do usually at United States. So, clear na po ba boses ko?
Yes, it's clear, Ruby.
Can you rephrase the question? Rephrase the question
Hindi
again,
na ako,
or
hindi ako makasigaw ng malakas.
Oo, kakagagaling lang.
Ayan.
what is the question again?
Okay, I will just add information about po dun sa I do, you do, and we do with regards sa English po dyan sa United States. So, in my
Okay.
case, I've been teaching English since the day I got into United States, and I do have students with special education needs in my class. So, with that one, there are two things that the teacher needs to remember is the whole group and the small group. That small group and whole group will be included when you do the I do, you do, and we do activities in the classroom. There are certain days that you have to do um, the whole time. You just need to do a whole group, and there are times you just need to do the small group. Um, with regards to standards, standards are called objectives are being called as standards in United States. So some Filipinos and some teachers are getting confused that we normally used in the Philippines objectives as the standards, and in the United States we called it standards or learning standards. So with with example that was given to us a while ago about it is the reading literature for grade 5, which I taught for testing class, quote accurately from text when explaining what the text says explicitly and when drawing inferences from the text. We don't quote unquote give this accurately to the students as ah, tonto por ponto na yung talagang ibibigay natin. We just need to get what is the main topic in these key details and ideas dito sa standards ng RL 5.1. So pag sinabi nating RL 5.1, the first thing is the topic there is inferencing, drawing inferencing. So sasabihin natin kanina, yung nasabi ni Dr. Mungkal is, it's iba-iba yung yung topics or understanding or comprehension from the Shakespeare book and to other. Honestly, all the standards from kindergarten to the higher grade level are just the same. They are differ from the words that they're using from the text and from the books, and how the words being used as to comprehend by the students per grade level. For example, for grade 1, the lexile level of the words will just varies from 100 lexile level of words to 200 levels lexile words. And it goes up and up to the higher level. That's how it becomes more difficult from other students, which is low level or low grade level to the higher grade level. Another good example of this is that for grade 1, we use the word mad. So kids knows that is mad, but when it goes up to the grade 4, becomes angry, upset, so the words becomes different. So that's how the lexile level and um, the lexical level of the words differ from one another. Um, that's ano pa yung isa, yung sa I do, we don't normally stays for 15 to 20 minutes. Actually, the I do, you do, we do, I do is the teacher's first presenting the activities to the student. Is the teacher first. We do, it is the teacher with the students doing the activity. Y'all do is all the students with the monitoring of the teachers who will do the activity. When we say you do, that is the students itself doing it on their own. So yun yung pagkakaiba ng I do, you do, and we do. Actually sa you do, I do, we do, dun sa we do, bago mag-you do, meron siyang y'all do. Yung Y apostrophe ALL means y'all do. All the students will do it. So, parang sinasabi natin na pag sinabi natin, I do it, I do. Teacher models using the clarification tables that is already constructed. So, lahat ng lesson ni teacher ipapakita doon, imo-model ni teacher sa I do. When we say we do, teachers and the class together doing the activity. So, pag sinabi natin meron siyang sumunod doon, you'll do, that is on the other side, it is a collaboratively activity by the students and the teacher. And then when we
Okay,
say
thank you.
you do it, students work independently on their own for the activity. So that's the difference po na you do, we do, I do sa English po. And then yun din po clarification for the learning standards or the standards of comprehension for the students po. Yan lang po. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Teacher Ruby. So that is to extend the I do, we do, you do, because uh, uh, there are many ways to do it, and we will not end my talk, okay, because there's too much to learn. So it encapsulate everything, so that she is Teacher Ruby is correct that the I do is the whole group, the teacher model is only the teacher model, but this whole is in the whole group. The students are in the whole group listening to the teacher. Then the we do, it's a short, small group instruction. You group the students, and the students do it themselves while the teacher is moving around to help and support them, especially if they cannot understand. Because without that, it will be a waste of time if you just let your students, bahala kayo nang bahala dyan. And to know, and only to know, they don't understand pala yung sa I do, the lesson. So that's why the purpose of the teacher. And also another purpose is the reteaching method. After the assessment or the exit ticket, more than half of the students did not learn. You have to reteach the lesson, of course. And then the you do, you will again go back to whole group. The students will be going back to the whole group, but they will do the exit ticket or assessment individually, while the teacher just monitor them and without giving or helping them with how to do it. Okay? So, do you have other questions? Malinaw po ba? Is my voice clear? Because there's something technical problem here. Did you understand what I had just said? Because I don't want to waste. I'm talking here and you cannot even hear me, or it's inaudible. You're hard of hearing me. Is my talk clear to you?
Sir.
And clear po. Loud and clear po, sir.
Loud and
Yes po,
clear.
yes po.
Sayang yung boses ko. This is gratis. This is because for the love of Dr. Manong Sung, sa aming mahabang pinagsamahan. So I don't want you to, to waste my time and also my effort. Thank you for listening. Magbibigay ako ngayon ng exit ticket, Doctor. Kasi kung for your participation. So, walang polling dito. Hindi, isa talk ko na, yung buong talk ko na. Okay. Okay, lahat kayo pwedeng kung sino nakakaalam ng sagot mag-raise ng hand. Unless may question pa. Teacher Rosalie Escocia, may tanong ka ba? You're raising your hand?
I don't have questions, sir. I just wanted to add some word kanina, and I wanted to give an example. Anyway, that's finish naman na, diba? Tapos na. Tapos na yung discussion natin.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rose.
Go ahead, na-cover na ba natin?
Na-cover na ni Miss Palencia, ni Miss Ruby, yung mga dapat kong sabihin kanina. And then, I just wanted to add dun sa subject na hindi naman, hindi English or math. Like, for example, sa TLE. It's so, like, for example, pagka yung sa modeling, ikaw ang magtahi. The teacher will do it. The kids they are looking at you how to do it, and then you ask your student, oh, let's do it together, so we do it, okay, and then let them do it on their own na pagka yung kinukontinue na nila yung ginagawa nila. It's so easy. It's a simple strategy on how to teach. Parang sa bahay lang. Pag nagtuturo ka ng pagluluto sa mga anak mo, okay, tingnan mo muna akong maggisa. And then, later on, halika dito, ikaw yung mag-isa. At saka titingnan ko kung paano mo tutulungan kita. And then, may scaffolding, ibig sabihin. So, pagdating ng sige, ikaw na yung magluto, ikaw na ang mag-isa. So, that's a simple strategy that we can apply also in teaching. Okay, that's all. Because Miss Palencia had said everything already.
Okay, thank you, Teacher Rosary. Actually, the I do, we do, you do is a scaffolding in itself. And what you said is, it's like the Montessori method, the learning by doing. So I do, we do, you do is the basic strategy, and it's up to you how you will apply it to in the classroom, in your content areas, in your discipline, in your students, because there are different strategies for different folks. There are different strategies for different content areas. Okay. So, and I am not a walking encyclopedia that I can, I know the content areas. So I'm based it only on my education and professional experience. My question? Okay, Teacher Salonga, you have a question? Go ahead, please.
None, sir. I don't have any questions.
As an English teacher, how, according to Dr. Manong Sung, how do you apply I do, we do, you do? You're teaching, for example, can you add on how to
Literature yan.
Or how you will be able to use this new strategy, if still, or if this is already your strategy, how you will improve your strategy? If some of the contents in my talk would help you, so because your special mention from Dr. Manusung, because you are teaching English literature. So can you have some inputs or ideas on how to go about this?
I usually do this kind of strategy, sir, or approach in teaching, especially in storytelling. First, I am the one who's telling the story, the specific literature. Then after, for the we do, I ask them to analyze in groups the story and then give their opinion. But after that, I ask them to give their own reflection, which is for the you do. So that is my normal approach for the literature po.
Okay, good. There's an evidence-based research here about, I don't know if you're familiar because I mentioned it in Urimet, but I cannot tell you because it's a different, it's another webinar series topic, the close guided reading. It is an
Mm.
effective tool for teaching students in reading literature. Are you familiar
Yes.
with close guided reading?
No, sir, I'm not familiar
Okay,
with it.
Maybe you
maybe
could
next
give
time.
a brief discussion on that.
Hindi pwede mahaba yun.
Mahaba.
Hindi pwede magiging hilaw.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. So next time, maybe, or you can now research in Google, close guided
Yes,
reading.
sir.
Okay. Anyone
AP.
else? Ano yung AP? Advanced
No,
placement na tawag sa.
Aralin Panlipunan.
Aralin Panlipunan.
Social Studies.
Dito kasi advanced placement yung kung gusto mo mag-enroll na sa high school para ma-credit na sa unit sa college din, yung AP. Dito pala Aralin Panlipunan. Oh, Teacher Ann, how do you plan to use this in your classroom setting?
Actually, Doc, good morning. Actually, hindi po ako familiar masyado sa dito sa I do, we do, you do, tsaka we do. Pero as I'm listening po sa inyo kanina,
You can
I do also my research. Nagre-research din ako kung ano yung procedure na to. Maganda pala talaga siya kasi marami din pong mga um, feedback na very effective siya sa mga student. So may mga example ako nakita which I do din naman sa loob ng classroom. So ang may tanong nga po ako sana sa inyo Yung time po ba it's dependent sa teacher doon sa 'di ba may yung oras, yung nakaalat sa no?
Of course, it depends on yung block mo, yung social studies block mo. 1 hour ba yan every day or every other week? Every other day? So, every day meron kang dapat isang topic, di ba? O isang historical fact. For example, kasi nag-teacher ako sa social studies din sa high school. So, for example, dito ang topic ko. Tsaka natuturo ko ng history din ng social studies sa elementary. Ano yung topic mo?
So, halimbawa po, Renaissance, sir. So, yung topic for the week is Renaissance. So,
masyadong malawak ang Renaissance. Ano yan? Ano yung Renaissance mo? Ano yan? Masyadong malawak yun. One day yun.
So, lang, course po muna tayo ng Renaissance. So, course muna tayo.
Causes. Yung mga, kunyari ako na lang, factors ng Protestant Reformation period. Causes. Reformation. Pero kasi tinuro ko yan ng pwedeng turo ng 1 hour yung Protestant Reformation period ng 1 hour.
Doctor, you must remember that we're doing online and we have very limited time. So we need to see that we could cover everything. The I do, we do. So we really need to strategize and divide the time.
Okay.
So ano po bang suggest nyo? Ang
explain on kasi hindi ko hindi ko makita yung Renaissance sa sa picture kasi hindi ko naman alam.
Mag-iba na lang tayo, Doc.
Hindi ko alam kung paano yung paano siya na-apply sa setting mo.
Okay, it's like this, no? As discussed by Mrs. Kosha a while ago, the I do, we do, the I do, we do, you do, no? It's very simple. It's like, cooking, no, it's the teacher, whatever is, no, if you have 1 hour or 30 minutes or 20 minutes, it's just a matter of dividing your time for the 3, factors to consider. In so doing, no, you must see to it that you have the output, okay? The output, be it Renaissance, be it ano pa yung mga
French Revolution.
Yeah, the French Revolution and whatsoever. So that would be dependent on the allotted time given to you. Diba? Other than that, we need to consider as well the materials that we have. Okay? So how will you integrate, no, and jive it with the modules that we're using, the learning materials that we have, with the I do, we do, you do. Okay? To simplify the matter, Doctor.
Yeah, to simplify the matter, I just told them this talk na 15 to 20 minutes in 1 hour block, 15 to 20 minutes yung 15 minutes yung I do, yung introduce mo yung concept, modeling, then 15, 25, 35, 40, 25 minutes or we do, or 30 minutes we do, lahat yung we do. Okay, wait. 5 minutes compute tayo. Okay. Kasi ako natural na lang yan sa akin kasi ano na yan, ginagawa ko everyday. So 5 minute na warm up plus 15 minute na concept yung I do plus 25 minute na we do. O gawin mo na 30 minutes yung you do mo. 30 minutes. Ano lang to, dahil 5 to 10, 5 minutes yung exit ticket plus yung 5 minutes, yun yung break po sa kanila. So that's 60 minutes in 1 hour. Basta laging mas mahaba yung we do kesa sa I do. Ang pinakamaikli yung you do. Kasi isang example lang ibibigay mo sa kanila. Kung nakuha nila yung concept, isang problem lang bibigay mo sa kanila. Ngayon, bibigyan mo sila ng homework para ma-reinforce pa yun. Tapos kung kailangan mo makita mo sa exit ticket, kung more than 50% hindi marunong, maghanap kayo ng isang araw kasi meron kaming Friday or Wednesday na pwede kami mag-reteach ng lesson.
Doctor, I think...
Kunyari, babalik kami. Kahit hindi namin matapos ang curriculum, basta importante kasi, pagdating ng state test, importante alam nila yung sagutin yun. Kahit na hindi na matuloy yung mga last lesson ng fourth quarter, kahit 10% lang naman yun, o baka 5%, at least, importante ma-reteach yung lesson kasi sayang yung na-teach na tapos hindi nila nakuha. Kaya kailangan mo i-reteach. So may time kami, kunyari, after 2 weeks, i-reteach ko sa isang araw yung lesson na kitingin ko maraming hindi nag-perform well o hindi na master. So, ganun yung ginagawa namin dito. Okay? Ano yan? Statewide yung ginagawa namin kasi ano yan? Okay. Under kami sa
Alright, Doctor.
Sa education department.
Okay, excuse me. Just to integrate, and be practical on what we had been experiencing and based on the allotted time that we observe, as to online education. Maybe Teacher Ruby could give us samples on how she execute the class just to cover the I do, we do, and you do. Because, for example, ko sa philosophy ko, doon pa lang sa philosophical thoughts, and for you to cover the lessons for the whole module, that would take you 30 to 40 minutes. Diba? So you really need to prepare your PowerPoint and then try to disregard some other discussions that are not important. Go direct to the point. Okay? Now, how will you go to the we do? Diba? The we do. So, that's the process. Okay? Therein, you need to integrate experiences, ask your students, just like what Sarah stated a while ago, the need to reflect. Okay? So, there's processing. After which, because of the very limited time na. All right, what will you do? You have the Tuesday and the Thursday. The you do, is possible during the tutorial. Okay? So, yun lang ang nakikita ko na paraan. Okay? For the students to show, okay, whether they have learned something. Yung Tuesday and Thursday, they're doing their exercises, answering the modules, and then it's a matter of following up on the part of the teacher whether they have learned something on a Monday lecture or the Wednesday lecture. Okay? So processing is very important. So that would serve as exit ticket for the Monday and Wednesday, the TTH tutorial, which is a follow-up based on the topics learned on Monday and Wednesday. Tama ba, Teacher Ann?
Na ano ko na po, medyo na-digest ko na. So, yung sinasabi ni Dr. Mungkal na na reinforcement, possible po siya, Doc, during the tutorial time, yung Tuesday
Yes,
and Thursday. Kasi hindi
correct.
po ba time constraint tayo pagka synchronous. So sige, I will try. Doon na lang na ipapasok natin yung reinforcement during Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you, Doc. Very helpful.
Just as Dr. Masu said, you will modify it according to your own system. This is only a basic, and it is up to you how you will apply in the classroom. Like in English literature, that's true, teacher Sarah Salonga. Sometimes you have to be in whole group all the way instead of small group using this I do we do, because sometimes the student are struggling in comprehension. So sometimes nagiging 2 days yan sa akin. Ganun na nangyayari yung I do, we do, you do. So nagiging namomodify mo. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na this I do, we do, you do is 1 day, 1 lesson. In math, this is possible because we did this in math. There is yun nga lang sa math, nasa amin nakahain na yung curriculum. Ano ituturo mo every day. From day 1 to day 5, weekly, nakahain na sa amin in a silver platter. So implement na lang namin. Nagawa nila tong I do, we do, you do sa math. Sa reading, napansin ko nga din talaga mahirap. Pero yung tinuro ko nga sa inyo, para lang hindi mabore yung mga bata, so i-model mo yung kung paano mo gagawin, then mag-read pa kayo tuloy-tuloy with their participation of Papa. You will let them read, hindi lang ikaw magbabasa lagi. So sila naman magre-read, tapos may mga questions na kasi, yun yung kailangan you throw questions while they're reading, so they know, they are thinking deeply on critical reading yung ginagawa nyo. And then pagkatapos yung nabasahin yun, or kailangan pa minsan basahin ulit yan para pag-usapan ulit.
Also,
okay, doon ka na magbibigay ng question sa kabuuan ng binasa nila. So first, habang nagbabasa kayo, may mga question ka na rin para ma-attract mo yung attention nila, tsaka matatasa mo yung, masasharpen mo yung critical minds nila na, ito pala yung meaning ng first paragraph, yung ganyan. Kahit na hindi siya importante, pero para lang maintindihan nila yung comprehension doon sa pinag-uusapan na may mga tanong ka na, kasi ganun yung close guided reading at saka yung yung think, pair, share, thinking aloud method. Pero at the end of the story, meron ka talagang tanong na substantive na rich content na yung tanong mo. Pero bago mo itanong yung pinaka mga importanteng tanong, kailangan mo na maunawaan nila yung every part and of the story or the poem, of course. Okay.
Also, I just would want to add that the I do, we do, we've been practicing that, and it's in the module. It's in the module. However, some tend to simply do the I do, because we are focused much on on your task as a teacher. I need to do, I do, without taking into consideration the process. Okay. Oh, you need to answer exercises, the pre-test and the post-test. Okay. After they have answered, did you process? Did you evaluate? Did you ask them? Some, if you can't call all of them, were you able to process? After that, how did you know that they have learned something? So most of the time, you're so focused on your task as a teacher, the I do, because it's my job to teach. Okay, that's it. I will give, I will deliver. This is my topic. So ano nangyayari? What's going on? It is teacher-centered already. It is teacher-centered. It's not
outcomes-based education anymore.
You must remember that we need to practice outcome-based education, and that's OBE. The I do, we do, and the you do is OBE based.
Student-centered.
Student-centered. Okay? It's not the teacher anymore who will do the ano yung tawag dito? Grandstanding.
Traditional method yan.
That's traditional method.
The chalk and board method.
Yes. You're not supposed to grandstand. You're the teacher already. You're there to teach. Let them, okay, show whether they have learned
How they
something
will
out
learn.
of the lecture na sinabi mo. Okay? Hindi dapat teacher-centered. Student, yung output nila. Ano ba yung output? Okay, that's very important.
Kaya nga may teacher modeling first. Is it very easy for students to learn from the teacher, or it is more or better if they will learn from them from doing it? Of course, the teacher both helps, but according to research, after the teacher show them how to do it, it's better uh, they they can to teach learning by themselves, not to learn from the teacher always, but they will learn better by doing, okay, by doing it themselves, because that is outcomes based education, and that is based on evidence research. In the this I do, we do, you do in the United States, after the student, if the teacher and the county or the school is doing this, there is a positive significant correlation in the state tests that students perform very well. But those teachers who did not apply this method, they are less successful in when the students took the state test. Okay, so there is also another research that talagang tiningnan sa resulta ng state test. Yung mga successful students, kasi na-learn na nila natuto sila doon sa I do, we do, you do. Yung mga teacher naman na daldal, siya na lang lahat ng nakakaroon na information. At yung method in Spanish time, siya lang may alam, puro mali ka doon. Mali lang. So, walang yung mga estudyante, hindi nagsusunod sa state kasi wala silang natutunan doon sa ganung method. Okay, Teacher Rem?
Teacher Rose.
Teacher Rose?
Okay. Sir, I just want to add, kasi according to research, peer teaching teaches a lot to the students. So that's why we have that small group activity. After the teacher after the teaching of the teacher, we really need to have that we do. Kasi nga, it really helps the students. Kasi sometimes the learning strategy that you imply to your student is different, or shall I say, it's totally different from the students on how they teach their peers. So, according to research, peer teaching is a lot help to the student pagka yung when they are learning, kasi nga they can explain it in their own words. Okay, they can explain it in their own words, at saka they are more parang gamay nila in Tagalog. So parang mas at ease sila dun sa kapwa nila. So that's why peer teaching is really important, or small group is really important for the teaching of the concept, especially.
I absolutely agree to you, Teacher Rose. So I have an experience. I'm teaching division to a student, low performing. Hindi niya maintindihan kahit nag-teach na ako. Ang ginawa ko itong estudyante na magaling, ikaw nga magturo sa kanya kung paano mo natutunan yan. Natutunan niya agad kasi they are on the same wavelength. Minsan, tama yung peer tutoring, peer modeling. Kasi na-experience ko yan. Kaya ginagawa ko din yan sa mga special students ko na, kasi merong mga special students here na matalino naman sila sa math. Ewan ko bakit nasa special ed sila. Kasi yun nga yung lumabas sa kanilang test. Pero, pagdating sa classroom work, tatalino. Ngayon, yung mga talagang mahina, ginagamit ko ngayon yung matatalino. O hindi ako maintindihan, o ikaw, isa group nga sa mga small groups. Kaya I absolutely agree, Teacher Escocia. Hindi na sa based on research, proven ko na yan based on my personal experience. At ikaw din. And then si Teacher magsalita, sabi ni Dr. Manusong, ano na ako? Patapos na ba to? Ay, sorry. I mute. Okay, mute.
Ay, in addition lang po doon sa inano ni Teacher Rose kasi doon sa Mississippi, alam niyo naman po na merong language barrier. So you know the African American students, iba yung mga wordings nila, yung way of speaking nila. So since I taught them kasi ang hinawakan ko po sa kanila is state test, the Algebra 1. And alam niyo naman po na kapag Algebra 1, once na hindi sila nag-pass ng state test, they will not be able to graduate. So what I did doon sa mga matatalino, yung mga batang magagaling, sila ang pinag-explain ko kasi hindi nila maintindihan yung English ng mga natin, lalo ng mga African American. So sila talaga yung pinagturo ko kesa sa kung ano-ano yung sabihin ng mga bata. So in that way, natutunan talaga nila, especially when manipulating the calculators.
That is correct, Teacher Belen, because here sa USA before, yung English language learners. So, hindi ka naintindihan ng English language learners. Sa mga intervention classes ko, may pinapasok silang English language learner. Pinapasok sa akin during intervention ng mga regular student na English language learners during intervention classes in math and English. So, gagawin ko yung mga, siyempre, yung mga Inglesero sila, hindi ako maintindihan. So mag-explain ako dun sa bata. So gagawin naman ng batang first language, English language, for primary language niya English, like yung African American, i-explain ngayon niya, i-English niya yung Hispanic o yung English English as second language, English as second language learner, explain niya, magkakaintindihan na sila. Yun nga yung sinasabi ni Dr. Manansong na heterogeneous groups. Kasi nga iba yung wag mo silang, don't treat all your students as homogeneous na the same lahat sila. So language is a barrier, and also culture. Ang dami nagturo ako sa Navajo Indian nation. Ito yung mga tubo dito, cultural minorities. So hindi lang even the culture is a barrier. So minsan nahihiya sila, bakit hindi sila makatingin, nahihiya. Meron pala silang hindi ko pala alam, may ano pala kapag ganitong basta may nangyaring halimbawa eclipse, hindi pala sila pwedeng lumabas. Kaya kunyari PE outdoor, hindi sila pwedeng lumabas. Sabi ng teacher, bakit hindi kayo pwedeng, bakit ayaw nila lumabas? Hindi kasi hindi pala alam ng teacher yung culture na bawal lumabas ng eclipse. So kailangan din ng teacher, alam niyo din yung culture. So, puro kayo sa mga indigenous peoples like Ifuga, Bangsamoro, Mangyan, just to name a few, or dito sa Amerika, napakadami din cultural groups dito. So just to add to that. Okay, tapos na ba?
Okay. So do you have other questions, comments?
Okay. Although nakamute si Dr. Manungsong.
Okay, meron pang other comments. Teacher Rem, do you want to say something? Teacher Rem?
Wala naman po. Same lang po nung kay Miss Sarah po. Ganun din po yung ginagawa ko sa Filipino since language major po kami.
Okay, very good. So, do you have other comments, suggestions, any other, may violent reactions? So feel free to discuss it with Dr. Mungkal. So it's very important, yung peer group discussion to students and to teachers as well. We should learn from each other, and that's very important. Be it to teachers, be it to students, that's the way how to learn. Okay? Yes, doctor.
I will add, I learned yung sabi mong, what did you say a while ago, yung to learn from each other. Ginagawa din namin dito yan. Kunyari yung mga students na mahina sa mga testing, ang gagawin ng teacher na yun, manunood, she will attend a live classroom discussion with the teacher na nagpe-perform sa state test. Yung mga students niya. So, the teacher who's struggling with the students, how to learn, how to pass the test assessment, the status assessments, will sit down and learn from the teacher whose students learn and perform well in assessment and testing. So another way na we learn from each other. Magtutulungan. Kaya gagawa kayo ng math group, English group. So, yung manunood, I mean, ayoko sabihin magaling na teacher. Usually, yun ang traditional approach. Yung pinakamagaling teacher, kailangan na panuuri mo paano. Siguro, the better performing teacher, using the state test or the test of the students as the proof na magaling siya or better siya. Kasi, subjective yung magaling ng teacher niya kasi napanood ko yan, magaling niya. Ang magaling na teacher, kung yung estudyante natuto, yung outcomes-based education sinasabi ni Dr. Manusung, yung mga pumapasa sa test, yun ang magaling na teacher. Hindi porke pinanood kayo magaling na teacher, bias yun. Kasi feel kita, paano kung hindi kanya feel, hindi magaling magturo. Kaya hindi ako naniniwala minsan sa mga, to tell you frankly, sa mga principal evaluation o sa mga supervisor. Mas naniniwala ako kung yung student pumapasa sa mga tests, ibig sabihin, natuto yung mga student. Doon magaling yung teacher. Okay. So, half lang yung evaluation ng mga principal. Kasi, everyday ba sila nasa classroom o hindi? One time lang naman sila pumupunta o twice a year. Okay. So, may bias yun. So, tama yung ganon, yung mga teacher, panunuurin yung teacher na yun. Or, magro-rotate kayo. Yung hindi masyadong teacher na nahihirapan magturo sa mga students, nag-struggle yung students sa kanya, nanood yung mga teacher para tong peer review. Magbibigay ngayon ng suggestion pero magsarapan ng estudyante nyo. Unethical yun. Tuturuan mo yung kapwa teacher mo na dapat ganito ginawa mo. Gagawin nyo yun after ng classroom ng lesson, sa magmi-meet kayo, math meeting, math department meeting, o gano'n. So ngayon yung maglalaglagan, hindi naman laglagan. Yung kakatayin niya yung teacher, para bang dissertation or masteral thesis defense, no? Ibig sabihin, after niya magturo, ngayon bibigyan how to improve it. How to improve. Ngayon gano'n, Doctor. Magawin niyo na. Sige, tapos na.
So, because it's 10 p.m. here already and we're outside, no? And this is USA. So, we need to finish our webinar for now. So I do hope we do makakatulong to each and every one. I know that you've been practicing this. It's just a matter of reminding everyone the need to reassess, reevaluate, and at the same time, by quarter 4, try to practice doing this. The I do, we do, and you do. Why? Because patapos na tayo. So, kailangan na natin ng assessment. Okay? So, to new teachers, and then doon sa mga seasoned teachers, you've been practicing this. You've been practicing this. 100%. But it's just a matter of reminding and letting you know once again that there's a need to do this. Okay?
Okay, last.
So, Dr. Mungka.
Okay, just last because you said that you have to do it. Okay. For me, because the traditional way, the teacher teach the lesson, the teacher grandstands, the teacher is the center of the universe, the teacher knows everything. Alam na natin yun, magaling kayo. Huwag nyo na problemahin sa sarili nyo. Ang tanong, paano yung mga bata nyo matututo sa inyo, how your students will learn from you. If you only learn from yourself, you teach and learn from yourself but they don't know. So lagi isipin nyo how my students will learn by doing it. Not me, I teach, galing-galing ko talaga magturo, ganito. Okay, class, solve nyo na yan. Tapos hindi nila alam. So isipin nyo, hindi ikaw. Student-centered na ngayon, hindi na teacher-centered before. Para bang dati sa science, ang focus ng establishment is the world is flat. Kaso dumating yung Copernican theories, tsaka yung Galilean, tsaka si Newtonian, gravity, the world is round or elliptical. Sabi nga nung NASA, elliptical na nung nagkaroon na ng mga spaceship. space shuttle, okay, or space rockets. So, ganon ang paradigm shift. From the world is flat to the world is round. From teacher-centered education to student-centered learning. So this is a paradigm shift. Okay? That's it. Thank you. And Dr. Manungso,